otherwise occupied.
Well, you and I both have a full cup of coffee, so I think that's good enough. We'll just have to start without Lindsay.
Does 2 full cups of coffee equal 1 Lindsay?
Well, no, because I will never be as funny as Lindsay. But, hey,
we'll get this
it gives
going.
us enough energy to power through it.
Well, let me knock this this preview screen down. Let's go to camera 1. Camera 1.
Ah.
We're playing dangerously because there's actually no camera 2 today. So.
Oh. Well, then thank goodness for camera 1.
Right, camera 1 or nothing. So here we are, trying to live the life here at Princess Craft on a Friday. How does coffee work with these extra filters we're wearing?
It is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
It is a pain in the butt, but necessary evils for just a little longer.
Yeah. So right now it's just the 2 of us because Lindsay, we are quite busy around here, and Lindsay is always our pinch hitter with the sales team. It's a Friday. We have a full sales team on Friday, and Lindsay backing them up, and they are all
and
engaged.
we have overflow. So
yeah. So there are. Now we don't know if we'll get Lindsay back. We will press forward, lean into this, and hope for the best. Anyways, I hope everyone's doing well this Friday.
It seems like we just did this yesterday, but it's been a whole week, doesn't it?
It's going well.
Seems like it goes so fast.
Yeah. First off, if you're just joining us, welcome. Tell us you're here in the comments below. Some comments will show us a picture and a name. Some comments will just say you like Facebook user. So tell us in the comments who you are, where you're watching from, and what have you. We're super glad to have you aboard with us.
Because then we get to say hello.
Exactly. We had just a terrifying situation for what we do here at Princess Craft just a couple days ago.
We did?
Yeah. What? Our YouTube channel.
Oh.
How do you forget the... Okay.
Oh.
Okay, y'all.
I was thinking about something that broke, but
that too.
That was terrifying. But what he's talking about is all of a sudden Clint and I take evenings sometimes to do some filming. So we're filming in the evening when we realize...
Gosh, it was probably between 7 and 8 p.m.
When Lindsay is working online from home and sends us a screenshot that YouTube has taken down our walkthrough videos. The entire channel has been deleted because of...
Hi, Angela.
Hello, Angela. It was deleted for harassment, bullying, or threats.
Which, I'm the cameraman, so I know I wasn't doing any of that harassment, bullying, or threats.
I can't imagine.
Hey, Sean.
I can't imagine.
So
I have
it must have been you.
No idea. Hey, Sean.
It had to have been you. In all of our RV walkthrough tours that PJ's done over the past few years.
The past 10 years? 12 years?
Apparently, she has been making threatening, bullying, and harassing videos.
Maybe it's like those those like, what do they call that?
Microaggressions? Are you full of microaggressions?
Those things that are in the background, subconscious things
yes.
in the background. And
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what happened, whether it was an algorithm or whether it was complaints against us, but...
With no warning,
but
our
we panicked. Everything
YouTube
was
channel
gone.
was terminated. The word they said in the notification was terminated.
Yes. And then what they do when that happens, we found out after research, is they go find everything on YouTube that you're associated with and they terminate that too.
We couldn't log in. We couldn't. I mean,
you are just dead in the water. So what you do, it was bizarre. So what you do is you file an appeal and they give you 1,000 characters, not 1,000 words, 1,000 characters to explain whatever you want to explain. They don't tell you why.
You don't know what you're supposed to be explaining.
You don't know what's happening. You just send that in and then they appeal. They do something about it or they don't. They don't have to respond to you. So it is this really bizarre thing that happens. And by the time we had a meeting scheduled for noon the next day to figure out how to do everything we could think of to fix it. And at about 11 o'clock, we got an email that said, "Oops. We had somebody take a look at this. And we're sorry for the inconvenience. We think you're fine. We reinstated your channel." And literally 3 minutes after we got that email, it was up and running again.
But
Bizarre.
But we were pretty terrified because that represents a whole lot of our ability to share, this experience and what we are so intimately working with every day.
It pretty much represents your job.
It is my job. We lost years of my work like that.
Yeah.
And it is our primary vehicle for even marketing what we do
so
here.
we lost sleep for one night and now we're back at it. So it was just crazy thing that happened this week.
Yeah. So, anyways, that is a little bit of our craziness. We did get an award from one of our manufacturers, Intech RV, and we made a silly video because we were trying to make a serious video. But
Yeah, we couldn't get through a serious video, so Clint taped together the outtakes. It's on Facebook.
Right.
And we're trying to say thank you for an Intech award. And if you just want to see what stupid video looks like, check it out. It's on our Facebook page. And Lindsay and Clint just get stupid. Laurel and Hardy got nothing on you that day.
Well, just a little secret.
Is there a secret?
There's about to not be a secret. About 2 hours after we videoed
Ooh.
that thing, and I was already editing, I was almost done. The award was sitting on this table right in front of us, and I had one of the lights right over here behind me, and I backed up in my chair. I knocked over the light. And then domino effect, the light knocked over the award. It's made of glass. It fell off the table. It hit the floor. I shattered our
You just
award that we just
can't
unboxed.
trust us with nice things.
So
We had a week. How was your week? Yeah, enough about us. Tell us what's happening. Who's camping this weekend? I'm leaving on Sunday.
Yeah, you are. You and Lindsay.
And so's Lindsay. Yeah. We are going to Palestine and we're going to camp for 3 days and we're going to ride the train. There is a train that goes through the Azalea Trail in East Texas, which is very famous and it's beautiful. However, we're going 2 weeks before they say the time is to see the flowers.
It's the perfect way to avoid the crowds.
But
Go
this
when
is-
there's nothing to
But
see.
this is the time we could go,
Oh.
and Lindsay's kids are going to get to ride the train. We bought there's different levels of tickets. We bought the ones where you sit on top and you get the glass all around you.
Oh, that's fun.
Because if nothing else, it'll be fun. So that's what we're doing this weekend. What are you guys doing?
You're right. We
Galveston.
got Galveston. Now,
Who's going to Galveston?
exactly.
We can't see you.
Unfortunately, you're one of the few that comes through, probably through the community group that says Facebook users. So who are you? And Galveston, love it there. I just love the Strand and the seawall. Love it.
Oh, I want to
all
go
I
back
need
to
there.
Galveston. Yeah, it is not the most beautiful beach in the world.
Doesn't have to be. It's
But
a great
I
community.
just love the community, the area,
Yeah.
the camping. I like Galveston. Of course, I grew up in Houston, so Galveston is second nature for me.
Sure.
We went to Galveston every summer. We stayed at the flagship.
Yeah.
Do you remember the flagship?
Yeah, I think so. Was
was
it the two or three story like white?
It was 5 stories because we always
5.
stayed on the 5th floor.
Man.
And it was on a pier out into the water.
Was it all painted white? It was like
was
a
all
whitewashed
white.
building.
Yeah, as you go out, there was the parking lot, and then there was the swimming pool area, and then the building.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just great. You're out there on a pier, basically.
Uh-huh.
And I went with my friend Linda, who incidentally spent the night with me last night. Hi, Linda. And her family was involved with the company that owned it, so we went every summer.
So Linda, you were telling me yesterday, this is a friend from when you were like second grade, right?
No, 2 years old.
Second
we moved
grade
next
of
door
life.
to each other when we were 2 years old. Yes.
Still hanging out. That's
Oh,
actually pretty cool.
absolutely. It is. And our parents were best friends, and Linda drugged me everywhere. It was growing up, and it was just lovely.
Nice.
The other thing that I remember about Galveston back then, which was the 60s, is that when we went
You
to
can
Galveston...
remember the 60s?
I can. I was young. Very young. But, yeah, I remember the 60s. But when we went to Galveston, we had to buy old lady black one-piece bathing suits because it ruins every bathing suit when you would swim because there's so much tar in the water.
Is there that much tar in the water these days? I know
It is
that,
much better now.
I was going to say back then it just
No.
seemed kind of willy-nilly. They were just...
Yeah, so
Get
many
the
offshore
drill,
rigs,
drill.
and there was no environmental rules. It was, I mean, the beaches were covered
My
with
biggest
tar.
problem on Texas beach isn't the tar balls they roll up in. It's the man-o-wars and the jellyfish.
Well, they're still there.
Yeah.
They are still there, but that's just part
That's
of the
fine.
ocean,
Yeah.
you know. And you learn to spot them, and they come in waves. Sometimes it's worse than ever.
Jamaica Beach
Jamaica
RV
Beach.
Park in Galveston.
So that must be the place to go. We will send them a link to this this little video
Yeah.
here, and let's see if we can get them connected.
Yeah, Angela,
Jamaica Beach
yeah,
RV.
Patiently waiting for Intech to finish and deliver our camper.
Oh,
Yeah.
still waiting. Oh.
Every weekend scheduled in May.
Oh,
That's cool to have lined up.
that is.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So we were kind of talking around ideas of things to talk about, and our thought for today's conversation is some of those common experiences either every RVer has had or knows somebody.
But you know,
Who has had?
we talk about these stories all the time, so we thought it'd be interesting to bring them up. And either we've had them, or customers that we know have had them,
Uh-huh.
or customers have called us and said, what do I do?
Right.
But cool things that have happened.
Let's get probably the two big ones out of the way because they're either so common or so commonly spoken about. But let's move past them. The
Or
first
worried
two,
about.
or worried about.
Yeah.
The first two are these scary tank evacuation stories. If you haven't had one, you've at least had some level of trepidation that you might have one.
Well, it is the famous movie scene in every movie that included an RV.
Right? How can you not?
Pretty much.
I mean, if it's a comedy with an RV, and honestly, it's
it's
hard
in
to
there.
have an RV movie that isn't a comedy. You know,
Why?
there's
Why
a lot
is
of
that?
feel good going on, and there's a lot of potential for comedy when you're dealing with a small rolling space.
Okay, well, I may have to do some research on
Well,
movies with RVs that aren't comedies.
I
'cause-
doubt it's out there. It's either
Oh.
comedy or it's going to be a
Or it might be
thriller.
the creepy
Yeah.
serial killer that lives in some,
Right.
small trailer in the woods.
I don't think you can do just a basic, no frills drama or love story.
Hey,
It'd be
Clint,
a
can we make a
rom-com.
movie?
No, I don't.
Come
dabble-
on, I want to make a good movie.
I do no videography. What are you talking about?
Okay, well,
Okay,
well,
what's the other thing? Not just
yeah,
the,
just scary dump stations too.
Scary-
Sometimes just
oh.
the spaces.
I've
just
rolled up to some,
creepy.
and you're like, you can kind of piece together. This took place probably hours before you hit this dump station. You just look around, going, I'm gonna burn my shoes after this. I can tell already. Have you been there? Have you seen those?
I have.
And, or the suspect hose.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like, how am I really supposed? You want me to touch that to like take the cap off?
Right.
I love the ones that just have a rock over the dump
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah.
There's just a rock there, and you're like, okay, what?
Right. So those are kind of the go-to. Everyone has either had it or they have heard of it. So check this out. Facebook user, hello Facebook user. Nothing like broken glass on our front windshield on our RPod 193 right when we arrive at our destination on a Sunday.
Oh no!
Some duct tape and a dollar store car visor save the weekend. I like how resourceful
Yes.
RV people become really quick.
Wasn't
But-
our duct tape on our list last week of things you
Yeah.
have to have?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all got to have duct tape.
But we become resourceful because we all have these one-off stories, and it's another thing. You hate it when it's happening, but it makes a great story for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but what do you do if you're there? I mean, you can't you have to do something because your trailer has to go home.
Right.
So what are you gonna do?
And you just arrived. If you can save the weekend and piece it together, or maybe not piece together your front windshield, but if you can save the weekend, then absolutely. So I wonder how many times you can come up with saved the weekend stories.
Well, that would be much more encouraging and what's the word I'm looking for? Happy
Sure.
than
That'll work.
terrible experiences
Inspiring?
that we always think of.
Well,
yeah, that'd be more
yeah.
inspiring. That's the word.
Barbara has joined us. She was. You know what?
Hi, Barbara.
We need to talk to your work.
So you have to do conference calls late at night?
Well, late at night.
Or just late? You're late there?
Late because of a conference call. Just joining us now because she just got a conference call.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
slow.
And Rick, I do think that would make a good hashtag. What did I say? I was thinking that when I said it, and then we talked, and then I talked about
Rick, what are we talking about?
Save the Weekend or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If I
Oh,
do a
yeah.
hashtag Save the Weekend.
All right, let's do it.
So there. Well, you're going camping this weekend, so you have an opportunity.
Yeah, but then something has to go horribly wrong
Some sort
for
of
me to save the
calamity.
weekend. Yeah, we could. It can happen. I mean, I guess if you look hard enough, you can find something anywhere. But
Yeah.
I want to concentrate on the good stuff.
What about this? You've gone out for a weekend or a week or whatever, and unexpected weather events happen to you. Like you checked the weather before you left. You're bebopping down the road. You drive for a day, and you've already done all the research. But see, Rick's like that's how my window broke. So an unexpected weather change.
Barbara, you're so funny.
True.
You can, but I don't advise it.
Yeah. So I know that I've had experiences like at Inks Lake where the weather has changed. Now I have some friends that were camping at Inks Lake, and I wasn't on this camping trip. And it was one of those weather events that the park rangers say, everyone come with us now, get into this really rigid bathroom structure. You're gonna if you're in a tent, you're not gonna see it again. Like tornado comes through.
And we always tell people to have one of those weather radios that'll give you an alert. And you can always crank, if it looks kind of, you crank it up and it tells you whatever is happening. But we all also have cell phones that'll give us weather alerts. So if that happens, that could really put a damper on things.
Well, I'm thinking,
especially if it messes with your RV, because then what?
Surprise change in temperature, but also those weird wind events that pop out of nowhere, like gale force wind or a tornado sort of situation, and oftentimes those come with things like hail, and that's where you lose those windows or you get those dents, and it's just really terrifying. So like snow on here we have Barbara saying snow on a pop-up Thanksgiving with a camping group.
Well, if
Bam, it's cold.
Yeah, but that's more adventure. Don't you think?
Well, hopefully, if you can turn it into a saved the weekend sort of thing, then yeah, it's an adventure.
Okay.
So now, my problem with the whole relying on the cell phone thing is when we had our weather event 2 weeks ago in Texas, I had no data. I couldn't
everything
text
went
with
down.
people. I
couldn't do
couldn't
anything.
check weather, and so I'm starting to go, no, weather radio's very... I'm going back to some older technology has to be packed with me versus my phone because I had nothing.
Yeah, but that was the best part of that snow crazy that we had, is that, I literally couldn't work from home, couldn't do anything. We weren't open. Everything stopped. There's very few events that stop the world. So I tried to just mentally take advantage
Well,
of
check
that.
this. We were losing water and all that. We hadn't fully lost water yet, but it was kind of dribbling and all that. I had no text ability and no data ability, but Laura could text with her sister. Her sister's the one who notified us of a boil water event. Wouldn't you like to have known about boil water event before
Probably.
you ran
but
into some amoeba?
You know what? What I really want is just to disconnect sometimes, and there's nothing like things like that to force you to disconnect. Oh! I cooked part of my dinner, and between heater, oven, and broom, took the snow off. There you go. There you go.
Pivot, move forward, press ahead. You're a pioneer.
That's right. If it doesn't bend the edge of your pop-up so that you can't slide it back in, you're good to go.
Yeah. Okay, what
Crazy
about
stuff.
this? What about this? Those neighbors at the campground.
I have found that campgrounds, whenever we camp and we have neighbors around us, there's always a personality that comes with that group.
Okay.
And sometimes there is those really weird ones that, want you to be quiet, but they don't say anything. They just eye you the whole time.
And mutter under their breath.
Yes, and they're just really uncomfortable. And then there's sometimes the group with the runaway kids who are always running in your campsite and doing crazy things and asking questions, getting in your stuff, and you just want to sit by the fire and talk. And, it doesn't matter. It's 10:30 at night, and you're surrounded by a 5 and a 6-year-old that want to play with your fire and chat with you. Can I do this? Can I do that? And, I mean, it's just, there's so many different personalities that happen.
So, I can tell you, this has happened to me twice. I've gone camping with my family. I'm all set up, and I've got some young kids. Twice now, I've somehow ended up right next to the multi-campsite bachelor party.
Oops.
I have had drunk people stumbling through my campsite at all hours and tripping over the guy lines of a tent and falling into my tent. This has happened 2 times that I've been
Maybe
next
it's you.
to. Well, how is it me? But yeah, twice I've had the all-night bachelor party camping right next to the site next to me.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So that's my those neighbors experience. I don't mind lights around your campsite. I don't mind some low level music. To me, it becomes part of white noise and all. I don't. The all night drunk revelry passing through my site and falling on my kid through a tent. That's problematic to me.
Well, boondocking rocks. That's
That's how you get some more space.
what happens.
Okay. Next on my list of ideas is GPS failures.
Have you ever gotten totally lost? Just totally lost.
And and you're looking at your GPS, and you're not on a road. You're like your tires are on a road,
Or you're
but your GPS hasn't been updated.
or
Google
you're
Maps
not
hasn't been
looking at a
updated.
GPS and you're not on a road.
Yeah, and you go into that convenience store. Yeah. Let's see. Barbara had nice neighbors last Thanksgiving. Central Camp Kitchen was going to.
Oh, that sounds nice. You have people help.
So that's another thing, and that's actually further down my list, is that you can make lifetime connections through camping.
Yeah.
That's what I really like, is sometimes those neighbors are the perfect godsend neighbors. It's like, where have you been all my life? Because we should be camping together at least 2 or 3 times a year.
Well, we have people at our rally that make friends and then they camp
certainly
together
do.
forever.
We
But
certainly
what about
do.
those people that just, have you had one of those campers where people stop in every 30 minutes to look at your camper?
Oh yeah, especially
30 minutes?
in our small trailer crowd and our truck camper crowd. We've walked by, we've driven by. Can we see the inside of your teardrop? The inside of your truck camper? Can we see how do you do this?
Well, we had an interesting experience when we camped. Our first camp out with our Terra because it looks so different.
Yeah.
And Lindsay has the Dawn, which looks the same, only a lot smaller.
It's a baby Terra.
So everybody that drove by just stopped right there. They didn't get out of their vehicles. They didn't walk over. They just stopped their
Did they
car
stick
in the
their
road.
camera phone out their window?
No.
And
They just sat there and stared at us for like 3 or 4 minutes. And you're like, okay, this is
well, they probably have
awkward.
been doing research on it on the
And then
internet.
they drive
and they're like,
away, and then the next car stops and just looks. It is so weird.
yeah.
So
Yeah. So if you are okay.
yes, vintage campers especially,
Yeah.
people love to look. And I guess it would feel less awkward if they walked up and said, "Can I see in that?" or "What is that?" or "That's cool," or "That's weird," whatever they want to say.
Are you okay with it? Because I think my biggest drawback with my camping situation for allowing someone in and out and through is that my kids are while I'm trying to make things somewhat organized, my kids are trying to make everything unorganized. You know? So, yeah, view my camper at your own risk, because you might step on something or something might fall on you.
Yeah, maybe.
So tell us, are you okay with the request to check out your camper? Do you find that, hey, someone's interested, this is cool, I love talking about my camper? Is that where you're at? So
I don't think I would mind it. I think I would rather occasionally have people walk up, and you get to meet them, and you might be friends with them, you might just be a passerby. But sometimes it's just awkward to be stared at, kind of a fishbowl feeling.
Yeah. So George no longer has the vintage, but knows a lot of vintage camper owners. Most love to show them off, and I think that's the category that makes perfect sense.
Oh, because it is a lot of work to make them great and dress them up, and I mean that's part of the fun of it. So you have more personal investment on how it looks.
Yeah. So Barbara says years ago she was fine with the tours and the visits and the the strangers coming. I would love to check out, but not today's world. Not traveling alone.
Well, strangers show up all the time, but what about wildlife? I mean, wildlife coming
the wildlife
in.
trying to check out your trailer.
I mean, wildlife checking it out. I mean, we have done entire podcasts on leaving your food out and how to put it away because creatures come in. And sometimes, these creatures are used to campgrounds, raccoons,
right.
Deer, bear.
Right.
I mean, they just wander in trying to take over.
Yeah, Angela would have at least one random visitor every trip with their Horizon. Wait till you get your next trailer.
Yeah.
Here it comes. So my surprise animal experiences is middle of the night run-ins with pretty much these three categories, and it's happened more than once. Surprise, Pepe Le Pew. I've stumbled with a flashlight, been walking, and then suddenly your flashlight catches a flick of black and white fur 5 feet in front of you, and your heart stops, your face flushes, and you think, I'm done for. I've had the skunks. I've done this with armadillos and possums. Every time it's middle of the night, and then it's just one of those, gotta get up in the middle of the night, go to the restroom facilities, and one of those will be there. Too many times.
Well, I don't mind, I don't mind anything. I would rather have a bear than a skunk. I mean, I've never been sprayed by a skunk when we were camping, but I'm thinking that would be one of the fun killers because you can't stop it, you can't get away from it.
Yeah.
And you have to get in a very small space to sleep, so and then what do you do with the clothes? And that just sounds horrible. I mean, foxes, deer, raccoons, we have those in our backyard every night. Every night. We come out there, the raccoons especially, they mess with everything. We have had things just picked up and moved to a different spot out in our backyard, and we have this weird backyard full of all kinds of crazy yard art and stuff. And so we're used to that. And they dip things into the pond. I mean, they do all kinds of crazy things.
Right.
But skunks, man, that would be a tough weekend if somebody got sprayed by a skunk.
Nothing will make me jump out of my skin with surprise more than that it's 5 feet away from you. You just saw it with your flashlight, and you feel like you're about to step on it.
I think I would rather have a rattlesnake wandering by than a skunk.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah, but we're Texans, so we don't really care about. We're not as worried about rattlesnakes as most.
No.
We should be, but we're not.
Barbara's had experience with raccoons, deer, foxes. So, yeah, I love the foxes. When I run across a fox...
I feel like I've just got a little golden moment.
Yeah, what a privilege. A fox has visited me today, and the fox is going, human.
In our backyard, I bought Richard the little camera, with those little...
Right.
Motion-activated cameras for the nighttime to see what was out there. And the first 2 weeks we put it outside at night, a fox came and peed on the camera every night.
He says,
every night.
I like this camera. It is now mine.
And it is the weirdest thing to watch that on camera. Weirdest thing.
Stop watching when
it's like, oh my gosh, okay, again tonight.
Yeah. Have you ever had a small town breakdown? I'm not talking a mental, emotional breakdown, an anxiety breakdown. A small town breakdown. That puts you into like a shop situation.
Oh my goodness.
Angela heard a mountain lion cry. That'll wake you up.
Yeah.
Talk about one of the. Okay, I might put a mountain lion and run into right up there with a skunk.
Well, not me, because they're not going to be coming into the campground if anything is moving. They do not want to be around you. As long as you don't surprise them, they're okay.
Well, I mean, I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah, it's still.
Yeah.
They
I don't know.
They know. No.
Okay.
No.
I have some background with small livestock, goats, and we have lost I don't know how many to, and it's an unpretty sight.
Too.
It's an unpretty sight, and
it's a very signature look. You can tell when it's a mountain lion, even if you didn't see them, because of the way they kill their prey, how they deal with it, and then they try to hide what's left so they can come back.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Did you know mountain lions don't eat the heads? That's one of the signature things you can look for.
Well, I don't know. See, I don't know that I knew that, but my house cats will bring that to me.
Yeah.
That's part of the delivery. That's part of the victory lap that they do. Is they say, I caught something. I ate.
Well, we raise goats too. So when we had mountain lions come, we learned that there's certain things we could tell if it was mountain lions or coyotes or something else. And anyway, that's kind of a weird conversation, but
we're off topic. Can
very,
you believe that?
very. Yeah. Can you imagine? Very difficult to see the mountain lions, so I just don't worry about them at a campsite.
Yeah.
But it would be kind of creepy to hear. We hear coyotes all the time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just part of the evening sounds. So, and bullfrogs and all kinds of cool stuff. But some of that's kind of cool to hear when you're camping.
Sure. Back with coyotes just this past weekend. Then I had the trailer out.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. But you brought up something else, and then
small
we got
town breakdowns.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I was pulling a trailer. Now it was not a. There's Lindsay. There. Don't be weird.
I don't know how to not be weird.
So I was pulling a trailer, but it was a moving trailer. One time, and we had a blowout on that trailer. Just shredded it, and it was outside of Zephyr, Texas. Or was it Goldthwait? I think it's Zephyr. And it was a weird tire size, and we drug that trailer just pretty much on the rim into a small town fix-it shop. And they didn't have the tire, they didn't have the wheel, they didn't have anything, and we had all our stuff loaded in the trailer. It was one of those experiences. One of the customers says, I have that as a spare on my vehicle over there, and we just bought that spare right off of that customer.
Wow.
And put it on and went on our way.
Well, you know, I would almost rather break down in a small town than in a big city. Because in a big city, you're just a number and you're calling all these shops saying, can you help? Nope, we're busy. I can take you 2 weeks from now, or maybe next Thursday. Or when you're in a small town, everybody knows everybody. And, you know, there's going to be some Bubba somewhere who can at least get it off the road, or, you know, their brother-in-law drives to that bigger town, he can pick up a tire in 3 days.
And you'll probably get some homemade canned peaches and sweet tea out of it, too.
Yeah, well, in the South.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
So, small town experiences.
When I had a vehicle breakdown years ago in Dalhart, Texas, and it was Nowheresville, and the guys at the gas station said, well, we can't fix this until next week, but we'll work on it. And I said, well, what am I going to do? He's like, well, why don't you go over and talk to Joe? And, you know, he owns the motel, so maybe you could, like, do some paperwork for him in exchange for staying in the motel for a couple of nights, and we'll try to figure out how to get this fixed. And I felt I knew half the people in the town before the time was up, because everybody just tried to figure out how to get me back on the road.
That was a movie. It's called Cars.
No.
That
was me. In a Volkswagen convertible. That was me.
So Barbara says in Titusville, Florida, the towed vehicle behind the motorhome was a Bronco 2. Somehow the transfer case jumped into gear, I guess while towing it. flat towing it, and burned up the transmission of the Bronco on a Saturday.
So Barbara, you know, I would love to sit around a campfire with you because you have so many stories. I mean, what hasn't happened to you?
Well, when you've RV'd for a while, I feel like this is how I thought of this topic.
Wow.
Is it becomes part of the catalog, shared experiences.
Yes.
Yeah,
Michael, you are so right.
Michael called you yesterday. Did you call him back?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
No, I didn't call him back, but he called me again and we did chat.
Okay.
Thank you for your call, Michael.
Yes.
Thank you for
Call
your patience,
again.
Michael.
That too. But small town people are awesome, usually.
I feel like
But maybe we're Texans. Are they just awesome in Texas?
I don't think so. I think it's small
yeah,
towns.
I think that's an everywhere thing.
They get a personal win if they help the person who's passing through on. I feel like there's a personal win.
Oh, you never had a rollover? Well, let's keep it that way.
I've had two.
Yeah, well, yeah, we don't know what to say about you.
That's part of why I am the way I am.
Yeah.
Lopsided?
Upside down?
Well, yeah.
Rolled over?
Topsy-turvy?
Yes. End
I'm
over
glad
end,
you're here.
actually. Okay, so let me see here.
What else? What other crazy camping
What
RV
about-
experiences?
What about pet issues? Either in your vehicle while you're traveling or in
Oh.
your RV. I've heard so many. I travel with a 2-year-old, so this is kind of related, but it's not
It's
the
kind
same.
of like a pet.
Yeah,
What?
but the pets don't wear diapers,
And they don't have car seats.
and they don't usually have quite the same mechanism to tell you that their tummy hurts and that they're about to throw up. Whereas a pet in your
Pet
vehicle or
just throws
in your,
up.
yeah, it's just and I have heard too many stories of this.
Yes.
Is this a pretty common experience when you're traveling with pets? Did this happen to your pet bird?
Who travels with a pet bird? I want to know.
Remember
Well-
that guy? He had his whole carrying case.
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah.
But pets are just like people. Some of them get car sick, some don't. Right?
Yeah, I guess so. Or nervous sick.
Yeah,
or
just
they
nervous.
just get sick on the road, like us humans. How many of us humans have ended up unwell on the road? And that can be pretty horrible, right?
Yeah, especially if you tend to give them like a little calming medicine and then you feed them a bunch before you leave so you don't have to stop and feed them. And then,
Oh, you're just putting the ammunition
Whoa.
in.
then it's like, maybe that wasn't a good idea.
Do you give your dog Pepto-Bismol?
No.
No, but you give your dog Benadryl
To help him sleep or because of that itchy skin?
because they ate too many bees.
Yeah, that's true. And his important name was Big and Dumb.
Big fat dumb.
Big fat dumb.
Big fat dumb.
Sorry. He was all three of those, and he loved to eat the bees. So, I mean, what do?
You
Mm-hmm.
shoot him up with Benadryl.
We had a plant that flowered, and he stood over there and ate bees.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's probably my last one to bring up is while you're traveling, you're on the road, you're passing through different regions, state lines, and things like that, and your favorite quote unquote staple food or your favorite soft drink really is not readily available.
So, what experience have you had with this? What have you had to do without that you were addicted to?
I wouldn't say addicted.
Yeah, craving.
Well, I'm going to go extreme. I was on the other side of the world in a different hemisphere. And it was hard to get things like Dr. Pepper. You couldn't find it for the longest time there. For the first 2 years.
Could you find like a Coke?
You could find a Coke. But more common even than Coke was Pepsi. So you could find a Pepsi. And then you can find all these weird things. Like we found in Thailand, a big drink at the time was coffee flavored Pepsi.
Ew.
It was horrible.
They just came out with coffee Coke.
It's probably horrible.
Ugh, I don't know why. Aspirin for pets or kids is dangerous.
Yes, that's true. Is there aspirin and Pepto-Bismol?
It-
I don't know.
Rick, you're-
I have no interest in
Maybe.
Pepto-Bismol ever.
Tri-counties in the Panhandle of Texas.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
that is a
that's
problem.
true. That
That is a problem.
so yeah, some staples that are hard to get a hold of.
Yeah. Well, alcohol. Gotta have alcohol.
Rick says there's
Oh, okay.
aspirin and Pepto.
I didn't know that. I would never. have known that.
So
There's aspirin
I've-
and Pepto-Bismol.
I've never given Pepto to an animal, but now I know.
I've never
Not
given
to.
Pepto to one of my kids. I don't know.
Anti-Pepto.
I just don't know anything about it.
Okay. So, do you have a final kind of common story?
Common
or
story?
Common thing RVers may have run across?
We made a list of things, but, I'd say bugs. I hate places that are just covered in bugs.
Yeah, I think everyone's had a
That's probably some of the worst experiences. A dry county, that might do me in if I had to stay very long.
Yeah.
That would be trouble. But you know what? I could do it. I certainly could do it. So
something interesting on your watch over there, Lindsay.
Yes. Actually.
So
yeah, the bugs like
mosquitoes and no-see-ums.
Yeah, if you're someplace that's just covered in mosquitoes,
Biting flies, horse flies.
yeah,
Those are the worst.
then camping is just a miserable experience
Yeah.
because then you can't be outside. And I am just not one of those people that sits inside a camper all day. I sit inside a camper when I have to, but not any more than that. So if it's miserable outside because of bugs, then you have to put stuff all over you. Then it's just no. I think that's from living in Texas. That's probably the only thing we haven't talked about that it makes a terrible camping situation.
Okay, what about fleas in your camper?
Oh, that's easy.
Fleas are easy.
I can clean fleas out of a camper. It's a finite space. You can clean fleas out by vacuuming it really good every day for a week or two, putting in a little diatomaceous earth, and you're done. So I can fix fleas. Doesn't scare me.
All right.
But the things that fly and bite me, yeah, they find me first, and I hate that.
That's why it's good to go camping with PJ.
I hate that, yes. I will save
She's
you
like a walking fly
from
strip.
Tons of bug bites, because they will all come my way. Chiggers. Oh, chiggers love me. I can find if it's within 100 miles, I get chiggers.
It's a talent, I swear.
It is. It is. So that's a terrible thing for me.
Okay. All right. Well, I think
Sandflies.
sandflies. Ooh, those are the worst. Hate them.
Yeah, but see, on the beach, if you can keep the wind going in the right direction, you can avoid almost everything. That's the only good thing about the beach, and that
All you
wind
have to
dies
do is
down.
control the weather.
That's
Yes.
You heard it here. That's the only thing that's
That's
good
the
about the beach.
only thing.
Nope.
Yes, yeah. I'm okay with the rest
She's
of it.
anti-beach.
I am not anti-bugs biting me. So,
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this up because I hear one of you two has work to do.
someone has work to do.
I'm just gonna
But-
entertain myself. It's Friday.
But
So.
I like to chat with people every week.
Yeah.
We do all the talking, but thanks for joining us. Thanks for adding your comments. Always good to hear from you guys. Rick, Michael, George, Barbara, you guys are awesome.
Yep.
So let us know what we can do for you during the week. And just feel free. You can always reach us through all the various methods. And join us again next week.
When we'll talk about something we thought of about 30 minutes beforehand.
Yeah, but
But if you guys have a suggestion of what you want to talk about for our live, like, I don't know,
Absolutely
any crazy, commentary you
Anything.
can think of what you guys want to hear, what you want to talk about, if you have questions,
we can even talk about camper questions.
post it in the comments. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have a Gmail account, the RV Small Talk
At gmail.com.
at gmail.com. You can always catch us there. Send us an email. Yeah. We love connecting. That's why we're here.
Okay, everybody, until next week, stay safe, stay having fun. I have no actual closing comment, so
Happy
here I'm just trying-
camping.
happy camping, and we will see you next time.
Bye.